The west coast of the United States has been known to be a focal point for seismic activity. And as much as there is the fear of a major earthquake striking California, there is so much more to worry about elsewhere. Scientists believe that the new Madrid Seismic Zone, which is within the heart of the nation, will experience a series of devastating earthquakes soon. And if this were to happen, there would be so much more to worry about. Stick around as we learn about the mega earthquake that could destroy the United States literally. Earthquake. Mega earthquakes are defined by their exceptionally high magnitude, typically reaching 8.0 or above on the Richter scale. These catastrophic events are characterized by their immense destructive force, capable of causing widespread devastation across vast areas. Mega earthquakes are often caused by the sudden release of stress along geological fault lines, resulting in violent seismic activity that can last for several minutes. The immense energy released during these events can trigger secondary hazards such as tsunamis, landslides, and aftershocks, further compounding the impact on affected regions. Many of us describe an earthquake just by mentioning shaking. Well, here's an explanation of an earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden and dramatic event that occurs when two massive blocks of the Earth's crust slip past each other. This movement occurs along a specific surface, known as the fault or fault plane, where the tectonic plates are in constant motion. The location beneath the Earth's surface where the earthquake originates is called the hypocenter, while the point directly above it on the surface is referred to as the epicenter. Earthquakes can sometimes be preceded by foreshocks, more minor tremors in the same area where a larger earthquake will eventually strike. However, scientists can only identify a foreshock once the main quake occurs. The main shock, or the largest earthquake, is always accompanied by aftershocks, which are smaller earthquakes that occur in the exact location of the main shock. The frequency and duration of aftershocks depend on the magnitude of the main shock, with some continuing for weeks, months, or even years after the initial event. The sequence of events that unfold during an earthquake is a complex and dynamic process. The main shock is the earthquake's most significant and destructive part, causing widespread damage and disruption. The following aftershocks are smaller but still pose a risk, as they can cause additional damage and disrupt recovery efforts. Understanding the mechanisms behind earthquakes, including the role of foreshocks and aftershocks, is crucial for predicting and preparing for these natural disasters. Earthquakes are pretty destructive, and the stronger they are, the more dangerous they are. This is why the earthquakes being predicted for the new Madrid Seismic Zone are being feared. They are being said to be among the strongest experienced in the United States. Keep watching to learn more about this. The new Madrid Seismic Zone, often overshadowed by its more renowned counterparts in California, the Pacific Northwest, and Alaska, the new Madrid Seismic Zone is one of the most dangerous seismic regions in the United States, spanning across several states, including Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. This seismic zone has the potential to disrupt the lives of millions of Americans. The New Madrid Seismic Zone is named after the town of New Madrid, Missouri, which was the epicenter of a series of powerful earthquakes in 1811-1812. These earthquakes, known as the New Madrid earthquakes, were among the strongest ever recorded in the contiguous United States, with estimated magnitudes ranging from 7.0 to 8.0. The shaking was so intense that it caused the Mississippi River to flow backward for several hours, creating new lakes and islands in the region. Despite its history of powerful earthquakes, the New Madrid Seismic Zone remains largely unknown to the general public. This is partly because the region has not experienced a major earthquake in over a century, leading some to believe the threat has passed. However, scientists warn that the region is long overdue for another major earthquake and that the consequences could be catastrophic. If a major earthquake were to strike the New Madrid Seismic Zone today, the damage would be widespread and severe. Millions of people live in the region, and many buildings and infrastructure are not designed to withstand intense shaking. Highways, bridges, and railways could be severely damaged, hampering rescue and recovery efforts. Power outages and water shortages could last for weeks or even months, and the economic impact could be felt nationwide. The New Madrid Seismic Zone, a region renowned for its seismic activity in the United States, has its geological origins dating back approximately 750 million years to the Precambrian era during the breakup of the supercontinent Rodinia. This ancient event initiated the formation of a rift valley. In this geological feature, the Earth's crust is being pulled apart, creating a zone of weakness within the continental crust. Despite the immense forces, the Rift Valley failed to completely separate the landmass, leaving behind a complex network of faults and fractures that would shape the region's future seismic activity. The unresolved rift from the Rhodinian breakup set the stage for developing the new Madrid Seismic Zone, a region characterized by its susceptibility to frequent and sometimes powerful earthquakes. Over millions of years, the accumulated stress along these ancient fault lines has periodically been released as seismic events, with notable occurrences such as the series of devastating earthquakes that rocked the area in 1811, 1812. These historical seismic events have left a lasting impact on the region's landscape, shaping its topography and contributing to the unique hilly terrain that contrasts with the otherwise flat surroundings. This is a testament to the enduring geological forces beneath the surface. Today, the ancient rift that underlies the new Madrid Seismic Zone remains hidden beneath layers of sediment deposited by the Mississippi River, adding to the complexity of the region's geological makeup. The ongoing tectonic activity in this area serves as a reminder of the dynamic nature of the Earth's crust and the potential for future seismic events. There is clearly much more than we thought concerning this seismic zone, and from what we have seen already, it is already causing great alarm. But what else have scientists uncovered concerning this zone? And better yet, when is the exact estimate for this deadly earthquake? Keep watching to find out. Mississippi River. The Mississippi River, the region's lifeblood, flows through the heart of the new Madrid Seismic Zone, forming a broad alluvial plain that serves as a vital channel for commerce, agriculture, and transportation. This mighty river's floodplain, characterized by nutrient-rich soils, has historically fostered extensive agricultural development along its banks. The terrain gradually rises into the Ozark Plateau to the west and the Appalachian Mountains to the east, offering a stark contrast to the flat floodplains. These uplands, with their rugged hills and lush forests, present a different facet of the region's physical geography, highlighting the diversity of habitats and ecosystems within the area. The Mississippi River plays a crucial role in shaping the landscape and supporting the economy of the new Madrid Seismic Zone. Its meandering course has created a network of oxbow lakes, backwaters, and wetlands that provide important habitats for various plant and animal species. The river's regular flooding cycles replenish the soil with essential nutrients, making it ideal for agriculture. The fertile floodplain has attracted settlers to the region for centuries, and today the area is home to a thriving agricultural industry that produces a wide range of crops, including corn, soybeans, and cotton. In addition to its agricultural significance, the Mississippi River is also a vital transportation corridor. The river and its tributaries provide a network of navigable waterways that connect the region to the Gulf of Mexico and the rest of the world. Barges and ships transport millions of tons of goods, including agricultural products, raw materials, and manufactured goods, along the river each year. The presence of the river has also led to the development of numerous ports and river towns, which serve as critical economic hubs for the region. The Mississippi River's impact on the region extends beyond its economic and agricultural significance. The river's floodplain is home to a diverse array of plant and animal species, many of which are found nowhere else in the world. The river's regular flooding cycles also help maintain the health of the region's ecosystems by replenishing the soil with essential nutrients and providing habitat for various aquatic species. The river's banks are also home to a rich cultural heritage, with numerous historical sites and landmarks that reflect the region's complex and varied history. Furthermore, the Mississippi River plays a critical role in the region's hydrological cycle, helping to regulate the flow of water and maintain the region's water quality. The river's floodplain acts as a natural buffer against flooding, helping to absorb excess water and prevent damage to nearby communities. The river's water also helps to support the region's aquifers, providing a vital source of fresh water for drinking, irrigation, and other uses. The Mississippi River is an essential component of the new Madrid Seismic Zone, playing a crucial role in shaping the region's landscape, supporting its economy, and maintaining its ecosystems. The river's unique combination of geological, ecological, and cultural significance makes it a truly remarkable feature of the region that continues to play a vital role in the lives of those who live and work along its banks. The mystery of the new Madrid Seismic Zone. The new Madrid Seismic Zone stands out as a unique geological region characterized by intraplate earthquakes, which occur within the interior of a tectonic plate rather than along its boundaries, where such events are more typical. This distinctive feature sets it apart from the more common interpolate earthquakes that occur at plate boundaries. Located in the central United States, spanning states like Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois, this seismic zone has garnered attention for its high seismic activity and the potential for significant earthquakes. Within the New Madrid Seismic Zone, a complex network of faults, including the notable Real Foot Rift, contributes to the region's seismic activity. The Real Foot Rift, believed to have formed during the Cambrian period, is a deep-seated fault system that plays a crucial role in the seismic events observed in the area. Despite the rift's failure to split the North American continent, it remains a subsurface oligogon, a zone of weakness that reacts to the relatively small east-west compressive forces associated with the ongoing westward continental drift of the North American plate, making the region unusually prone to earthquakes. The mysterious nature of the New Madrid Seismic Zone stems from the intricate geological processes that drive its seismic activity, which are not yet fully understood. While scientists have identified factors such as the movement of the North American plate and the presence of the Real Foot Rift as contributors to the region's seismicity, there is still much to uncover about the underlying mechanisms and geological history that shape the seismic events in this area. This enigmatic quality has sparked increased research and monitoring efforts in recent years, highlighting the importance of studying and comprehending the geological complexities of the central United States to predict better and mitigate the impacts of potential earthquakes. Despite ongoing advancements in research and technology today, the New Madrid Seismic Zone remains a significant concern for geologists and emergency planners alike. While it hasn't sparked any major issues recently, history has demonstrated just how devastating it can be. The most significant seismic events within this region unfolded in 1811 and 1812, during which a series of powerful earthquakes ranging between magnitudes 7.0 and 7.5 struck the area, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape and the collective memory of those who experienced them. The tremors from these historic earthquakes were felt across an expansive area encompassing approximately 1 million square miles, a testament to the immense power and reach of these seismic events. Accounts from that era vividly depict the awe-inspiring and terrifying scenes that unfolded as the earth convulsed beneath the feet of those who bore witness. Ground waves, visible as they traversed the landscape, created the illusion of a living, breathing entity, while rivers flowed in reverse, as if time itself had been turned on its head. Immense fissures opened in the earth, swallowing trees and buildings whole, while intense shaking brought down chimneys and toppled structures, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The New Madrid Seismic Zone is a unique geological feature characterized by intraplate earthquakes, meaning they occur within the interior of a tectonic plate rather than along its boundaries, where such events are more typical. This distinctive characteristic sets it apart from the more common interplate earthquakes that occur at plate boundaries, making it a subject of fascination and study for geologists and seismologists alike. Located in the central United States, spanning states like Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois, this seismic zone is a testament to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our planet. The region's complex geology, including the presence of the Real Foot Rift, a deep-seated fault system, contributes to the seismic activity in the area. Scientists believe that the New Madrid Seismic Zone is a zone of weakness in the regional crust that coincides with the location of an ancient rift that has reactivated in the last several thousand years. This unique geological feature, combined with the potential for widespread damage, makes the New Madrid Seismic Zone a constant focus of research and preparedness efforts. Despite the lack of major earthquakes in recent history, the potential for future seismic events remains a significant concern. Paleoseismic studies have concluded that the New Madrid Seismic Zone generated magnitude 7 to 8 earthquakes about every 500 years during the past 1,200 years, a sobering reminder of the region's seismic history and the need for ongoing vigilance and preparedness. As scientists continue to study and monitor the New Madrid Seismic Zone, the hope is that a greater understanding of its geological processes will lead to more effective strategies for mitigating the risks and impacts of future earthquakes. New Madrid, Missouri location. The New Madrid Seismic Zone, NMSZ, is a significant seismic location situated in the central United States spanning 4 states, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and Tennessee. It stretches approximately 150 miles, 240 kilometers from Cairo, Illinois, through Haiti, Caruthersville, and New Madrid in Missouri, and into Marked Tree in Arkansas, as well as parts of West Tennessee near Real Foot Lake and extending southeast into Dyersburg. This seismic zone is characterized by intraplate earthquakes, meaning they occur within the interior of a tectonic plate rather than along its boundaries, where such events are more typical. The NMSZ is embedded in a subsurface geological feature known as the Real Foot Rift, which likely formed during the Cambrian period. This rift failed to split the North American continent, but has remained as an oligocene, a scar or zone of weakness, deep underground, allowing the relatively small east-west compressive forces associated with the continuing westward continental drift of the North American plate to reactivate old faults around New Madrid, making the area unusually prone to earthquakes. The NMSZ is notable for its historical seismic activity, particularly the 1811-1812 New Madrid earthquakes, which were among the largest in recorded American history. These earthquakes were felt across an expansive area, including parts of 7 American states, and had significant impacts on the local landscape and human populations. Today, the NMSZ remains a substantial concern for geologists and emergency planners due to its potential for large earthquakes in the future. The region's unique geology and the potential for widespread damage make it a constant focus of research and preparedness efforts. The town of New Madrid, Missouri, situated at the heart of the New Madrid Seismic Zone, bore the brunt of the devastating earthquakes that struck the region in 1811-1812. As the ground shook violently, the town's buildings and infrastructure were reduced to rubble, leaving the residents in a state of shock and despair. The seismic activity was so intense that it caused permanent changes to the surrounding landscape, forever altering the region's geography. One of the most striking transformations was the formation of new lakes, which appeared as the Earth's surface buckled and cracked under immense pressure. The most notable of these was Real Foot Lake, located in northwest Tennessee, which was created when the ground sank and filled with water. The lake's unique shape and depth are a testament to the power of the earthquakes, with some areas reaching depths of over 100 feet. In addition to the creation of new lakes, the earthquakes also caused significant changes to the course of the Mississippi River. The mighty river, which had flowed steadily for centuries, was suddenly forced to change direction, with sections of its banks collapsing into the water. In some areas, the river even flowed backward for a time, as the seismic waves disrupted its normal flow. The unique characteristics of the New Madrid Seismic Zone, which includes a series of thrust faults stretching from Marktree, Arkansas to Cairo, Illinois, contributed to the severity of the earthquakes. These faults, which are embedded in a subsurface geological feature known as the Real Foot Rift, allow the relatively small east-west compressive forces associated with the continuing westward continental drift of the North American plate to reactivate old faults around New Madrid, making the area unusually prone to seismic activity. The aftershocks that followed the initial earthquakes continued to reverberate in the region until 1817, a full 5 years after the initial event. During this time, residents lived in constant fear of the ground opening up beneath their feet or their homes collapsing around them. The psychological impact of the earthquakes was immense, with many people abandoning their homes and farms in search of safer ground. Despite the devastation caused by the 1811-1812 earthquakes, the region has continued to experience notable seismic activity in the years since. Since the devastating earthquakes of 1811-1812 in the New Madrid Seismic Zone, the region has experienced several other notable seismic events that serve as a stark reminder of the ongoing threat posed by this active fault system. The most substantial earthquakes occurred on January 4, 1843 and October 31, 1895, with estimated magnitudes of 6.0 and 6.6 respectively. While these quakes were not directly within the confines of the New Madrid Seismic Zone, their impact was felt across a wide area, causing significant damage to buildings and infrastructure. The 1843 earthquake, centered near Marktree, Arkansas, shook the ground with such force that it toppled chimneys and cracked walls in nearby towns. The 1895 quake, which struck near Charleston, Missouri, was even more destructive, causing widespread damage to homes and businesses throughout the region. In the aftermath of these events, residents were left to pick up the pieces and rebuild their lives, a testament to the resilience of the people who call this region home. In the years following these earthquakes, scientists have meticulously assembled evidence to decipher the long-term activity of the New Madrid Seismic Zone. Through painstaking research and analysis of geological data, they have uncovered a startling truth. Significant earthquakes have occurred within the New Madrid area at intervals of roughly 500 years over the past few millennia. This finding has profound implications for the future of the region, as it suggests that the risk of a major earthquake is not a distant possibility, but a genuine and present danger. Despite the irregularity of large-scale seismic events in the New Madrid Seismic Zone, compared to more active regions such as California, the potential repercussions of a major earthquake in this area are no less severe. In fact, the region's burgeoning population density and evolving built environment since the early 1800s have heightened concerns for earthquake preparedness and resilience. As more and more people flock to the cities and towns of the central United States, the risk of catastrophic loss of life and property in the event of a major quake grows ever more pressing. One of the most immediate and visible impacts of a significant seismic event in this region would be the extensive damage inflicted upon buildings and infrastructure. Unlike the West Coast, where buildings and bridges are engineered to withstand the forces of nature, many structures in the central United States were built without seismic activity in mind. This lack of preparedness puts them at risk of collapse or severe damage, potentially leading to loss of life and disruption of essential services. The sight of crumbling buildings and broken roads would be a sobering reminder of the power of the earth to reshape the landscape and the lives of those who inhabit it. As scientists continue to study the New Madrid Seismic Zone and the risks it poses to the region, it is clear that the time has come for a renewed focus on earthquake preparedness and resilience. This will require a multifaceted approach, including the implementation of seismic-resistant building codes, the development of emergency response plans, and the education of the public about the risks and steps they can take to protect themselves. Only by working together can the people of the central United States hope to weather the storms that lie ahead and emerge more robust and more resilient than ever before. Effects of earthquakes that have happened before. The New Madrid Seismic Zone, NMSZ, has a long history of significant earthquakes that have had profound effects on the surrounding region. The most notable were the series of powerful earthquakes that occurred in 1811-1812, which are believed to have had magnitudes of 8.0 or greater. These earthquakes caused widespread destruction in the towns of New Madrid and Little Prairie, Caruthersville, Missouri, where most of the simple log buildings were damaged or destroyed. The earthquakes also caused permanent changes in the course of the Mississippi River, which flowed backward temporarily. Large areas sank into the earth, fissures opened, lakes permanently drained, new lakes were formed, and forests were destroyed over an area of 150,000 acres. The effects of these earthquakes were felt as far away as New York City and Boston, Massachusetts, causing church bells to ring. The earthquakes also caused significant damage to the region's infrastructure, including the destruction of bridges, roads, and buildings. The Mississippi River was affected, with the water level rising and falling rapidly, causing flooding and erosion. The primary cause of damage and injuries during an earthquake is the destruction of artificial structures and their contents. Tall structures like buildings, bridges, and dams, as well as large open structures like auditoriums, classrooms, factories, hospitals, and churches, are particularly susceptible to damage from shaking. Brittle structures like unreinforced masonry and concrete buildings, complex structures with odd shapes and lots of corners, and unanchored building contents like bookshelves, file cabinets, and mechanical equipment are also at high risk. Today, the region is home to millions of people, including those in the cities of St. Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee. Most structures in the region were not built to withstand earthquake shaking, as they have been in more seismically active areas like California. Moreover, most earthquake preparations have yet to catch up. So let's see what happens when another earthquake occurs. What might happen when there is a repeat of the 1811 and 1820 earthquakes? A repeat of the devastating earthquakes that occurred in the New Madrid Seismic Zone between 1811 and 1820 would have catastrophic consequences for the region's infrastructure and communities. The extensive damage inflicted upon buildings and critical infrastructure such as bridges, roads, pipelines, and power lines would be a primary concern. This widespread destruction could lead to severe disruptions in transportation and communication networks, with vital routes like State Highway 55, connecting New Orleans to Chicago, likely rendered impassable for an extended period. The impact on critical infrastructure could result in significant challenges for emergency response efforts and the overall functioning of the region. The Mississippi River, a vital artery for travel and trade, would face significant disruptions in the event of a major earthquake. Historical evidence from the early 1800s suggests that the river could even reverse its flow temporarily, a phenomenon that could recur in a future seismic event. Debris from the earthquake could clog the river, impeding navigation and hindering emergency response operations. This disruption to the Mississippi River's flow could have far-reaching consequences, affecting supply chains, leading to shortages of essential goods like food, water, and medical supplies, and impacting regional and national commerce. The potential consequences of a major earthquake in the new Madrid Seismic Zone extend beyond immediate physical damage. A Federal Emergency Management Agency report projected that a 7.6 magnitude earthquake could have catastrophic effects, with estimates indicating a significant loss of life and widespread structural damage. The projected impacts include a substantial portion of the population being killed or seriously injured, along with a considerable percentage of buildings collapsing or suffering severe damage within the closest counties to the epicenter. The economic toll of such an event is estimated to be nearly $300 billion, highlighting the immense challenges and costs associated with preparing for and responding to a significant seismic event in the region. The disruption of critical infrastructure such as transportation networks and the Mississippi River would have cascading effects on emergency response capabilities, supply chains, and regional economies. The loss of access to key transportation routes and the temporary unusability of the Mississippi River could severely hamper relief efforts and exacerbate challenges in delivering essential supplies to affected areas. The potential for widespread damage to buildings and infrastructure underscores the urgent need for enhanced earthquake preparedness measures, including infrastructure upgrades, emergency response planning, and community resilience initiatives to mitigate the impact of future seismic events in the new Madrid Seismic Zone. The new Madrid Seismic Zone, NMSZ, is a significant seismic area in the central United States, characterized by a high frequency of earthquakes. The region is home to just over 2.1 million people, but this population count does not include areas outside the region that would still be affected by a seismic event. For example, cities like St. Louis, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, and Evansville, Indiana, would also feel the repercussions of an earthquake. This highlights that a significantly larger population could be impacted by a seismic event in the NMSZ. Interestingly, while many residents in the region may not anticipate an earthquake anytime soon, it is worth noting that Oklahoma has become accustomed to earthquakes despite lacking major fault lines or a long history of seismic activity. In recent years, Oklahoma has experienced an unprecedented surge in seismic activity characterized by swarms of earthquakes. These swarms comprise hundreds of small to moderate-sized earthquakes and represent a significant departure from the region's historically mild seismic patterns. What distinguishes this surge from seismic activity in other parts of the world is its link to human activities, particularly the injection of wastewater into deep wells. This process, known as deep well injection, involves disposing of wastewater by pumping it into deep geological formations. While this method effectively disposes of the wastewater, it has also been found to increase subsurface pressures, potentially reactivating dormant faults and triggering earthquakes. These earthquakes have been predominantly concentrated in central and northern Oklahoma, but their effects have reverberated across state borders. This phenomenon underscores the intricate interplay between human activities and the Earth's natural processes, highlighting the need for careful consideration of environmental impacts in resource extraction practices. Indeed, Oklahoma's seismic landscape has undergone a remarkable transformation, with earthquakes now occurring frequently compared to decades past when they were a rarity. While a major earthquake in the new Madrid Seismic Zone is inevitable and will undoubtedly pose significant challenges for those within the zone, geologists still debate the likelihood of a substantial swarm of earthquakes striking the region in the near future. Nevertheless, it is wiser to be prepared in order to mitigate the consequences of this impending disaster. That's all for today. Stay safe and see you in the next one.